guys can come around here and send it good, you know, let's get around. Alright, you guys that don't know me, I'm Gary Kistler. I've been trapping about 43 years. I've always been a water trapper. I was a coon, beaver, mink trapper. Did that for years, and then when coyotes got high, I thought, you know, I need to start catching some coyotes. I always kept 30, 40 coyotes a year, you know, but that's not really a big number for the area I trap, so I kind of been doing some training and research, and I actually started thinking outside the box. I was so set in my ways that I couldn't get outside and hit 100 coyotes or whatever, and then of course the last 4 years I've hit 200 coyotes, which is a lot of coyotes, and I still work for a living. So, but it's a lot of work. I travel a lot of miles. There's several sets I use. I use about 3 or 4 sets. I try to get efficient at it. I try to spend as less time here as I need. I've seen guys doing sets on YouTube and stuff. They spend 30 minutes here making a set. That's too long, guys. I'm in and out of here in 5 minutes. So we're gonna take a little longer today because I'm gonna show you what I do, but I try to find something. There's a track here. You guys see this track? Somebody drove in here with the pickup. I trap a lot on the roads going in out of farm fields. Equipment, something that nobody ever really talks about is their equipment. I get my traps ready in July. I paint them. I use oil-based paint and acetone. I do it in July, so they're aired out by now. I have 3 main traps I use, actually 2. The MB 550, bulletproof, guys. This has been the best trap for me forever. I've got 6 or 7 dozen of them. I exclusively use this. I use a little of the 650s, but I don't really like these. But I catch a lot of them in them. Kendall Oberman's got the K9 Extreme. I've started using these. I bought 2 dozen 2 years ago. I like them. They bed well. And then I don't know if you guys know that Duke's come out with a new trap, 650 Pro. This thing's a beast. What I like about this one, compared to the MB, it's so much bigger. This MB will fit inside of this 650. Anyway, I didn't mean to set that off. But you know, guys, a lot of guys don't know if they're gonna trap. They mess around and don't get their traps ready ahead of time, and then a week before season, oh God, I better get out and get them ready. Trap preparation is very important. You know, a lot of guys go out and they're not ready. I try to do this all in the off season because you never know, you might get a call, somebody needs a coyote trapped or something. So, see the difference, guys? That's a hell of a lot bigger kill area with that trap. I bought 3 dozen. You guys, he didn't show up today. Jeb from Okie Trap Supply. He's gonna be shipping my bait for me. If you guys ever need anything, he's great. I buy all my supplies from Jeb. He's down in Crowder, Oklahoma. He'll be at the thing a couple weeks from now, but we're gonna try to bed this. I'm gonna do the best I can with what I got because I don't really have nothing here. When I come into an area and I know it's good location, I don't just set 1 trap. To me, if I'm gonna stop, make a set, you need to set 2 traps because you may have a skunk or a coon in it and then you're out of commission too. So anyway, I like to use T-bones. We're gonna drive this in here. It could end up being a urine post or whatever. I don't know how hard this ground is. And I'm a little rusty, guys. I haven't set any coyote traps hardly all summer. But I don't like to bed it. I don't like to make the bed much bigger than my trap. I think that's a lot of guys make mistakes. They make this thing huge. And I'm not gonna, I use wolf fangs. Where's my driver? Like I say, I went to, Jimmy said I better try some chain. Everybody's going to chain. I've got chain on, I'm putting chain on all my 3s, and I'm still gonna do cable on my 2s. So anyway, like I say, I'm not used to using this big of a trap, so I'm gonna have to.
Gary, I noticed the trap lays nice and flat.
I like to buy traps out of the box and set them. I'm not one of these guys that likes to laminate them, and I try to buy traps right out of the box. Where's my? I lost my fan cover. Well, I got another in here somewhere. I had a fan cover. I probably dropped. Didn't they see it?
Everyone came out.
I had one on that. I had to cut. I always cut the. I don't see it. It's all right. I always cut them here where the dog is. But pretend we're gonna end up bedding this whole thing. Because normally I put it under the trap. I drive the wolf fang in. But a lot of guys that make mistakes have a lot of misses. What I did in the past, I'm telling you, I'm a guilty. Lost my pan cover again. There it is. I brought dirt with me because I didn't know what we had. And I tell you, I was really, just even a few years ago, guys, I didn't bed my traps very good. This is where everybody makes mistakes, is not bedding properly. About the only time I have a miss now. I still have a miss every now and then, but it's because a deer stepped on it. Do your work right here. Take that time, guys. Get it rock solid. You see how fast that bedded though? I mean, it's perfect. I've got, like I say, dry dirt here. I store dirt, guys, through the summer. Pack around where you want him stepping right there. So that's basically all there is to setting. This is kind of my modified bone flat set, but I punch holes in. I think the key to catching coyotes, everybody gets them to your sets. The key is getting him there long enough for him to paw around and step in it. And that's why I use bait, guys. I've been using bait. Bait, I think, to me is the key. Lure will get him there, but is he got to come up and sniff and go on? Probably. If you've ever been out in the snow, you guys need to go out in the snow. After it snows, you can learn more that day than you can the whole season. If you get 2 inches of snow, you think there's no coyotes or bobcats, you go out and you'll see 50 coyote tracks and 10 bobcat tracks. The snow gives it away. So anyway, I'm gonna punch a couple holes. Just get them deep enough to put that bait in there. Yeah, there's nothing to keep him from working behind. There's not. But if you give him some goodies, he's gonna stay here and work at it until he gets it. And hopefully, I'm gonna do a lot of videoing. Here's my #1 bait. That's about all you need. I use a butter knife. I don't like to put sheep wool, anything in the hole but the bait, because if he gets the sheep's wool out and it ends up over there, he's gonna be over there sniffing your sheep's wool, and this is where you want him. So, put your bait down in the hole, smear it around. That's my #1. And I always use 2 different smells at each set. If I'm gonna set a set here and a set here, I'm gonna use bobcat gland right here, down in the hole. And then, a lot of guys overdo it on the urine. I don't use hardly that much urine. I'm telling you, coyote's got a nose like you can't believe. Just, that's about it. And hopefully within 2 nights I'm gonna hit. A lot of guys, they don't hit this spot in a couple of nights. They're gonna say, well, I need more bait in the hole, or I need more urine. Don't do that, guys. If you're using a good bait or lure, till after a rain or after a catch, that's pretty much what I do. You gotta blend this in. If you got a spot sitting there, looks like it's just a target, he's gonna avoid that spot. You know, that's a little wet, that's gonna dry in the sun, that's gonna blend in, you're not even gonna know it's there. So, That's all there is to it. I could have done that in 5 minutes or less, but I'm doing this for purposes. I'm on down the road. Actually, this is a road here. I'm gonna set one here, and I'm gonna walk over here. Anybody know anything about a pipe set? Mark Jagger, New York, it rains a lot. I don't set his pipes like he does. I put them in at an angle. I started using these at the end of the season last year, and I caught more bobcats off this pipe set than I did coyotes almost. I don't know what it was. They saw it sticking out of the ground, but that'd be one set there. I'd come over here, there's this road going here. I'd set another one over here, about this far apart. A lot of days I come up, I got 2 coyotes, or I got a badger and a coyote, or I got a coon and a coyote. It's worth a good set, guys. One set, you need to set 2. Too many guys don't have enough traps, but if it's gonna stop, it just takes me 5 more minutes to plug another set in right over here. That's really cool when you pull up and you got a double. But location, guys, not a lot of guys talk about it. I don't care how good a set that is, how good a bait. If you're not on location, it may sit there for 2 weeks. So location is really key. You guys get out, find tracks, find scat. I try, like I say, a lot of roads. I try to put them off the road. I've got a lot of them run over by tractors. I had a dozer run 3 of my traps one place along the river. I didn't know a guy was going in with a dozer. He got all 3 of them. Happens. That's the price you got to pay for trapping them roads, because that's where the coyotes run. Field edges, crop changes, pond dams. Location, location, location. Doesn't matter how much good bait, lure, you got to be on location, guys. And getting out scouting, get out and learn your terrain, learn your land. You know, that's money well spent going out and finding sign. You know, I used to set a trap hoping I'd catch a coyote or a bobcat. That was just a few years ago. I set a trap now, I'm confident I'm gonna catch something in that set. Just a matter of days, you know. Be confident with your skills. You know, these animals are smart, but they're not smarter than us. They may have a good nose. If you contaminate this, you're probably gonna have shyways, or you're gonna have dug up traps. Keep the contamination, get your set, and move on. Don't sit here. I watch these guys. I'm not saying they're any better, worse. See these guys take 30 minutes to make a set. You don't have to make it perfect. And coyotes, I like it open. I know Jimmy uses rocks and sticks and stuff. I think if you start, there was a big wind here. I think there's things you can do. I tried this cow school last year. Never did catch nothing on it. It's too much. I think coyotes kind of walk by. You could do stuff like this. But I like it as natural as possible for coyotes. The less you do with it, you use your terrain, your ground. You know, I don't know what set I'm gonna make when I go in until if I see something looks, you know, like a mound or a badger den. Oh my gosh, guys, if you got old badger dens, there's tracks on it after every rain. I guarantee you, they check them holes out. I don't like to make big showy sets for coyotes. I like flat sets, dirt holes. I got a drill. I make a lot of dirt holes. I don't keep a log. I should. I'm making tracks. I don't have time to make a log on what bait. I kind of know that I did this bait and this bait, but I'll use something completely opposite over here. But you know, that's what I do, and work hard, travel a lot of miles, and I have a lot of success. So, you know.
Do you see a big difference on using the gloves that you actually set your trap with and the gloves you use the bait with?
I just don't want my bait and lure on those gloves.
So that's why you wear
But
gloves.
I started last year. You guys been out and trapped in wet, nasty weather. Your hands get cold, your gloves get nasty. I started using these underneath my gloves last winter, because after January, December, we had like 2 or 3 inches of rain. I had all these plans over Christmas break. I was just going to catch the world on fire, and I got out there and it rained. Set a bunch of sets, and some of them I pulled them the next day. I couldn't get to them because there was 3 inches of rain. I couldn't drive in, but I don't like to make a lot of blocking with coyotes. Now, bobcat's a whole different deal. You know, I think Jimmy's gonna do a demo on bobcat. Bobcat's a whole different animal. You can catch bobcats in this set. I catch bobcats in this set, but it's not really designed for that. If I was kind of in the woods where I know the cats are, I'll block this off a lot more. I'll make it more showy. I'll hang a duck wing here, and I'll make you know, some feathers around it. If for coyotes, I leave it as natural as I can. Because he's going to be hunting. He's coming along here, and all of a sudden he's going to get a whiff. Well, yeah, he may come over here. But if you ever had any video of coyotes, what they do, they're always circling. He may not come in the first night, but you always hear that curiosity kills a cat. Curiosity kills a coyote every time. Because he goes, there's something in there I want to eat. And he may not do it tonight, but tomorrow night, he's going to pass by there and go, no, come over here. Wham. He's waiting for it. I don't use drags, guys. What do you do? I got a question for you guys. What do you do if you catch a coyote here and he's throw it up? What do you do? Pull the trap, move it over? What do you do? Set it right back. You got all the pee, poop that he's been there for 12 hours. That's the perfect spot. My best set last year caught 7 coyotes and 1 bobcat in the same trap in 2-week period. Almost every night. I hit like the first 4 nights. And then I started educating them and they didn't, I killed almost the whole family, But set 2 traps, do something different bait lure. Go easy on the urine. You don't need that much. Coyote's got a nose like you can't believe. He'll find it. You're on location. If he doesn't find it, you're not on location. Because you make it look like that, you got a dead coyote the next day.
Hey Gary, could you briefly describe that that you talked about?
Okay. Well, you guys can get on YouTube and look Mark Jagger. He's a famous guy now. This article. Mike Snyder, he's not here. He's in Colorado. He gave me 4 or 5 of these pipes last year and said, and I saw the set. I just never, don't be afraid to try something new, guys. When we get in a rut where we do the same thing, everything, sometimes we're not thinking outside the box. Try something new, something different, because who knows, you may come up with a new pipe set or something. You may be famous someday, but Mark Jagger, he gets a clump of grass and he puts the pipe in, drives it in, because it rains in New York and rains. You can't use dirt holes in New York because they fill full of water and it rains like 4 or 5 inches. But he pipes it down about this high and then he puts his bait lure in it. But that's not how I actually did it. I did it wrong last year. And I think I caught 8 bobcats and like 20 coyotes after I started using this. I like to put it in at an angle. I do it like this. But what's pretty neat is when you come up and you have a coyote here and your pipe's over here. But the reason I use a bone like that, anchor it down, because if you don't anchor it down like if you use a big bone, I think sometimes a big bone scares them. I mean, you can be too flashy, too showy for coyotes, and sometimes they'll not come in. But leave it alone. Set it. Leave it alone. Walk up. A lot of times I'll drive by. I don't even get out of the truck. If I can see it ain't set off, I'll leave it alone. But same thing with a pipe. Do this here. Come over here. Put your trap here. Bed it. You're supposed to do it like this, but I don't always do everything like I'm supposed to. I do what works for me. And what works for me may not work for you guys. You got to adapt to whatever works for you on your line, because you got different ground, different, I'm in crop ground. I love trapping a cornfield on an edge of a bean field, right down that edge. You got a little bit of cover in the cornfield, bean field's open. I'm telling you, the coyotes, I trap places now that I used to drive by, think there's nothing there, nothing. That's where those coyotes run. They're running from point A to point B, and
How far in front of the pipe set when it's angled?
Well, I mean,
the center of the trap.
Those guys say 7 inches. I mean, foxes you want to be right up here, but coyotes, the problem is with a coyote, you don't want him to come up here and sniff and then go on, which is going to happen. But if I did the pipe set, I would punch in another hole. I use multiple baits or lures. I think a lot of guys put 1 bait or 1 lure. If you don't like that smell, he's going to go on. If you use 2 and maybe a drop or 2 of urine, you've got 3. Don't overdo it. You seen the spoonful I use, guys. That's all I do, but I smear it in the hole, and he's going to work at that. Too many guys put cotton balls or sheep's wool. I'm not saying that. Some guys do, that's fine. But if a mouse or rat comes in there and digs that out and it's over here, next thing you know, coyote's coming over here. Your set's right there. You just made another set, but you ain't got a trap there. So keep it as simple as you can. Get efficient at these sets. It doesn't take long. I see them guys take 30 minutes. If I took 30 minutes at each set, I'd get about 20 traps set in. I set 130 traps the opening season last year. Opening day. I didn't have a video guy, too bad. I caught 10 coyotes and 2 cats and 20 coon the first time of the season last year. Had a hell of a run. And a lot of that, I didn't catch most of them coyotes at the end of my line. I was like my last 2 miles, and I caught like 5 coyotes in 2 miles. I wiped out a whole family in 2 miles because they were. Reset it. Back the only time, this is no bull, guys. If I bed my trap properly, not the only time it's sprung like that is because I had a deer step on it. If I have a miss, sometimes you'll barely tow a coyote or a bobcat and you'll have a miss. You had him, but you only had a toe, and a lot of times you won't hold him with a toe. But I don't hardly have misses because I do my work right there. I take my time, pack it around. I used to set Northwood square traps. I didn't bet them. I used to have more sprung traps. I hardly ever have a sprung trap anymore unless it's got a deer track on it. I'm not saying it's 100%. I still have a miss. I'm human. We're all human. We make mistakes. But the thing is, if we learn from our mistakes, you know, I had a coyote 2 years ago, every freaking day, every other day. I got pictures of it. He was just, I caught 5 coyotes in the same trap, and I'd come out and that trap would be just like that. I thought, what the hell did I do wrong? Every day I had 2 sets there. The one trap had not caught like 5 coyotes. The other trap wasn't catching nothing. I think it depends on the wind and the way they're running it. You know, normally we have a southwest wind, but we get a cold front, you get a north wind. You need to set 2 traps accordingly to the wind. I mean, I'm just saying that's what I do. If it's a hot area, I may set, you know, hopefully I'm gonna have a triple this year. I've never had a triple. I'm hoping to get a triple. I've caught, you know, off of different farms, but I had this coyote kept doing this to me, or it's like this. So I finally went and got a clean trap, went down there, and I put in a clean trap, made it just as natural, put a drop or 2 of coyote urine. I had caught somebody shot a coyote, had a whole bladder full of fresh pee, and I put that coyote urine in. I had him the next day, and he looked like a German Shepherd. That coyote was 30, 38, 40 pounds. He was the biggest coyote ever caught. Dark, looked like an eastern coyote. But anyway, questions, guys? Don't be afraid. No question's a dumb question. I'm still learning as I go, you know. If we're not learning, if we're not constantly learning and doing things, you know, I used to think I was a really good trapper and caught 20, 30 coyotes a year. And of course, I caught hundreds of coons, and I used to catch more bobcats. I catch more coyotes now than bobcats. And coyotes are harder to catch than bobcats, as far as I'm concerned. But they're more predictable. You can predict what a coyote's going to do. Bobcat, hell, he may be here today, and then he may not be back for 3 weeks. So you got to get him when he's coming through. Surely you got some questions, guys. Girls, anybody? Did I do it wrong? Did I stutter? Didn't stutter too much.
Antifreeze.
Huh?
Antifreeze.
Antifreeze. I got dirt, guys. If you don't have dirt saved up now, you might be wishing you did. I know a lot of guys, when it gets wet and snowy, I have made wax sand. I don't make a lot of wax sand because it takes so damn much time. But I've got 300 gallons of dry dirt. I actually picked this up in my mom's garden. I rototilled it. I actually go out to manure piles. I got to get a video on my YouTube deal. I haven't got it yet. I went out and got 100 gallons of dry dirt. It's from a manure pile. That manure turns into the best dirt in the world. Compost. Yeah, thank you. That stuff covers. And peat moss, I will use it, but I will not use it exclusively. It's too soft. If that coyote paws around and feels that, he's going to back off. I can mix it 50-50, but you got to put it, but I do use salt. But I have dry dirt. I'm telling guys, I got a tub of dirt I carry with me. I don't spend, this is me just 5 years ago. I used to walk around, trying to figure out what I'm going to make a set. And then I didn't have my dirt, and then I'd have to put my set, go over here and get dirt. I don't do that crap anymore. That takes time. When I stop at a place, I'm on a mission. I'm going to get in there, put 2 sets in, 10 minutes, I'm out. I'm down the road 2 miles, 2 more sets, boom, boom. My first line was 78 miles last year. I caught a lot of coyotes. And then when I know that it's slowing down, time to move, guys. You can spend all damn week trying to catch 1 coyote, but why don't go through some new ground where there's 20 coyotes? Start catching them dumb ones, you know? There's gonna be some of them you don't catch. You gotta catch 75% of the coyotes make an impact on the. And guys, we're the stewards of the land. I don't know if you guys know, but the turkey population's almost decimated around. You know why? Because there's not enough of us guys out there anymore doing this. Them turkeys are getting killed by the predators. Their nests are getting raided by the skunks, possums, raccoons. It's our job, guys. There ain't nobody else doing it. It's our job. Yeah. I guarantee I saved hundreds of deer last year by the coyotes I caught, bobcats. I've seen videos, bobcats catching baby fawns and these other deals. I catch possums. I'm not afraid of possums, skunks, raccoons. I didn't even try to catch coons last year. You know, yeah, they're not worth the $3, but we still got to take them out, guys. They're going to get distemper, parvo. We won't have any coons if we don't catch a few. So get out there and get after it. Guys, any questions? I'll have a booth over here. Got my bait for sale. It's launched on the internet now. I hope you guys will support me. Got any questions? Call me, message me. I'll do what I can. I had a fur buyer. Didn't tell you guys. Greenwald, you know, NAFTA's under now. Where do we sell our furs? You know, you can't afford to sell them to the local guys. Nothing against local guys, but they got to make a dollar. I had Greenwald, Guy Greenwald. I called him. He was running Lawrence, Hutch, Newton, and somewhere else. He told me about him. I called him. I said, hey, I got 150 coyotes and cats, and I think I can get about 10 guys here from around the county. He came to my house, which is in Udall, in January, bought our furs. He bought more at my house than he did those other 3 stops combined. Because we got a lot of good trappers around here, guys. There's a lot of good trappers. Grady, you can get it done. Greg, you guys, I know you guys can get it done out here. But we don't really have a good market. But I don't want, that's not what drives me. I love doing this. I'd probably pay somebody if I had to. If I take my last dollar, I'd probably lose my wife. I'll be doing it. I mean, that's just how it is, you know. So, surely there's questions. I mean,